Ah, hello there, traveler, and welcome to our story. It's Monday, it's the start of the work week. I had a very, very busy start to my work week, so tonight I'm going to do something nice and relaxing. I'm going to be doing another ASMR snack box unboxing / taste test. So it's the Universal Yums October box, which is from Indonesia. So I'm not really familiar with a lot of Indonesian snacks, so most of this will be very new for me. I think the only Indonesian snack that I'm really familiar with personally is, I can't even pronounce it, but it's a type of like chewy ginger candy that you can actually throw in boiling water to make ginger tea, and it's really good. So most of what's in the box is pretty new to me, and I'm excited in most cases, but concerned in others. We'll see what we get. And then that should probably only take an hour or so, depending on how much I blather on. So what I'll probably do for the rest of the time, however long I want to stream for, is I'll go back over to the painting table and we'll continue work on one of my painting projects. In particular, right now I have one that I'm very excited about. I recently got interested in the game Blood Bowl, which is put out by Games Workshop. It's kind of a mix of Warhammer Fantasy and football, which is weird for me because I don't like football. But this version of it I actually am very interested in. I would at least like to try it and try painting a couple of teams. So I've got one team in particular that I am painting for a friend, and then I've got a couple that I will be painting for myself after that, or kind of concurrently with it. So yeah, so that's the plan for tonight. And I think without further ado, we're just going to get into it. All right. So, here we are at the painting table. And, like it says in the description and the title and all that, the taste testing portion of the stream is going to be in ASMR. So, prepare yourselves for that. And also my apologies in advance because I am fighting a little bit of a cold, so I am just a tiny bit congested. Alright, so I'm gonna get this microphone nice and close, and I'm actually gonna turn the music off just for this portion of the stream. So let's adjust that. Alright. There we go. No more music, just you and me. And hopefully some tingles. So, as you can see here, we have the booklet that came with the Universal Yums box. And like I've said, this month we are going to Indonesia. I've always really liked these booklets. First of all, the pages are a bit crinkly. And they have a lot of really cool facts about whatever region they're doing that month. And in particular, since I enjoy cooking, one thing I really like is right on the inside, on the right side, they always have a recipe from whatever region they're doing. So this time it's, I can't even read upside down, so I'm going to have to turn this right side up. Nasi goreng. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it's Indonesia's national fried rice dish. And it looks freaking delicious. So I'm definitely going to have to try this out at some point. It actually looks fairly healthy, too. So it's got chicken, white rice, eggs, cucumbers, tomatoes. A lot of, like, good stuff. So, yeah, I guess the only thing is, like, it's fried rice, so it's a little less healthy, but, you know, it still looks delicious, and I really want to try it. I don't think I've ever made fried rice before. So, yeah, I will definitely have to try that. Maybe for a cooking stream, if I ever bring those back. And then, I'm just going to get my mouse out of the way. got a bunch of factoids about Indonesia, and then, of course, the part that we are waiting for. So what I'm going to be doing, if this is your first time watching one of these streams, what I'm going to do is go item by item, and each item has a little blurb written about it. So I'm just going to be reading through those, and then doing a little taste test, and I will give you my thoughts. So first off, we have this. So these are sugar-coated coffee cookies. That could be really good. I like sugar, I like coffee, I like cookies. That all seems positive. So it says here, did you know the word Java comes from Indonesia? I did not know that. It refers to the country's central island Java, where most of the world's coffee was grown during the 1700s. Today, Java is still renowned for its coffee, especially its Arabica beans, cultivated during monsoon season and aged for over 3 years. The result is a more mellow, less acidic coffee. The inspiration behind the light coffee flavor of these extra thin, sugar-topped biscuits. Subtle, sweet, and with just the right crunch. It's no wonder they're called Coffee Joy. Well, I will be the judge of that, Universal Yums, so let's open this thing up. Oh, so they come in numerous packs. There's just 2 packs in here. And they look like this. So, there's not much to say. The packaging is actually very fancy looking. And they do look really good. They don't really look like... it calls them cookies in the guide, but yeah, these look a little more like crackers, or more like the UK equivalent of a biscuit. Open. There we go. Okay. Oh my god. They smell so good. They smell like coffee. In a really, really good way. It's like that smell when you walk into a coffee house. Like a really nice, indie coffee house. Okay, these things are packed in here. Super tight. But, yeah, here they are. Here one of them is. So it looks exactly like what it says. It's very thin. I feel like I'm going to break it just holding it. And it's got a bunch of sugar dusted on top. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try it. Oh, again, they smell amazing. Alright, here we go. Oh, wow. Honestly, that might be one of the best things I've ever had out of one of these boxes. The coffee flavor isn't overpowering. It's, like it says, it's more of a light flavor. It's more subtle, but it's definitely there. And in the best way. Like, I've had a lot of coffee flavored snacks that unfortunately had a lot of that like coffee bitterness to it. These don't have that. Part of it might have to do with like the sugar on top, but honestly, I don't really taste the sugar that much. It's kind of superfluous, really. I don't think it really needs it. But they are absolutely delicious. I'm gonna have another one. If I can get it out. That's my only complaint, the packaging. They're in these things so tight. Yeah, these are not my definition of a biscuit. I tend to think of biscuits as a little bit thicker, a little more substantial. These are super thin. They really are more like crackers, but super good. Oh my gosh, I am definitely eating the rest of those. Those are not going to see daylight. I'm eating those tonight. Alright, and that was item number 1. Next up, something that's a little more familiar to my palate. We have this. So, these look like some of those like flute wafers that you see. And they are banana and cocoa wafer rolls. So it says here, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that something from a tropical place has a banana item in it. It says, bananas are pretty ordinary, right? Not in Indonesia, where over 300 unique varieties have evolved over the past 10,000 years. There's pisang mas, golden banana, with its hugely sweet, honey-like flavor in a bite-sized package. Pisang susu merah, red milk banana with its iconic red peel and creamy flavor. And pisang batu with its inedible seeds, making it prime bird food. Oh. And then there's this banana wafer roll. I'm going to guess it's like very generic fake banana flavor. That's I'm calling it now. With vanilla crispiness, gooey chocolate, and real banana cream. It takes after Indonesia's bonkers bananas. It's anything but ordinary. And yet it's a wafer. In my opinion, wafers very much the low tier of snacks. They tend to be very average. They're fine, but I've never been blown away by a wafer. Okay. Whew. Again, so the whole theme I'm noticing with these snacks is they have very strong fragrances to them, and not in a bad way at all. It smells really delicious. Very banana-y. And, okay, so these are not the same kind of wafers I was expecting. I was expecting the more circular ones, or cylindrical, the ones that you, like, use as straws. This is not that. These are very thin. They're very similar to a box that I had a few months ago. I think it was from Taiwan, where they had cherry blossom wafers that looked a lot like this, except they were pink. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was like the same company or like a sister branch of the same company, whatever, that made them, because these are very, very similar looking. And I think they have a similar consistency. So, alright, so it's supposed to be chocolate with banana cream. Let's see how it tastes. Oh. I stand corrected. It is definitely not fake banana flavor. And that's what I was expecting, so I guess it makes sense because they did make it with real banana cream, but that's actually pretty dang tasty. I think the chocolate isn't as strong. It's very banana heavy, but that is not to its detriment at all. This is actually really tasty. I'm gonna have another one. That is really good. Again, another snack that I will definitely be finishing in a very short amount of time. That's wonderful. All right. Indonesia, you are 2 for 2. The coffee biscuits and the banana wafers, both really good. All right. Next up, all right. Here's where things get a little bit questionable. This is one of the items that I was worried about. First of all, it feels like it's falling apart in the package, but we have this. I guess it's pronounced like bong bong or something. And it is a white chocolate and coconut wafer. So I have a couple of problems with this. Alright, nothing necessarily against wafers. Wafers, in my opinion, are kind of ordinary, although those banana ones were pretty good. White chocolate, I used to love. I remember really liking it as a kid. In fact, I preferred it over regular chocolate, but I think as an adult, my palate changed, and I just find it really sickly sweet. So I'll still eat it, but it's definitely not my favorite anymore. So that's one concern. My other concern is the coconut. If you're new to the channel, if you learn nothing else about me, know that there are several things that I hate, and coconut is one of them. So I am a little concerned about this. But mostly with coconut, what I hate is the texture of it. The flavor is I don't really like it, but it's mostly the texture that I hate. So maybe it's okay, we'll see. I'm just going to read the blurb real quick. Are you ready to try some Indonesian yums? Well, I've already tried 2 of them, so. Well, there's no better place to start than this coconut wafer. Why? Oh, no reason. Just that Indonesia produces the most coconuts in the world. Well, Indonesia, you've got 1 strike against you now. It should be no surprise that coconut is one of the most common ingredients in the country's cuisine. In Sumatra, coconut milk is used to make a beef curry called rendang. In Sulawesi, toasted coconut is used in chicken dishes like nasu liku, and spicy soups like tabu moitimo. I'm so sorry about my pronunciation. In Java, a sticky rice snack called ketan intip is coated in soybean powder and freshly shredded coconut. That sounds disgusting. And of course, you'll find coconut inside most Indonesian candy bars. With 4 layers of crispy wafers, 3 layers of cream, and a rich white chocolate outside covered in coconut. Oh no. This yum is the best way to try the country's most plentiful crop. This does not bode well. So there's coconut cream on the inside, which, strike 1. And then the outside of the white chocolate is covered in coconut again, so that's strike 2. Oh boy. I'm not looking forward to this. I don't want this. I'm doing this for you guys. Oh God, it smells very coconutty. So, yeah. And there it is. Oh, this just looks like everything I hate. And I don't want it. But, here we go. Oh. Oh, God. Alright, so the white chocolate helps, but not enough. And like, you don't taste it at first. You just get the sweetness of the white chocolate, but then the coconut kicks in like halfway through. And it's so coconutty. This is not my thing at all. Not even remotely. I do not like coconut. So I'm probably gonna not finish this one, if that's alright. That's a loser in my opinion. But okay, so Indonesia, you are 2 wins, 1 loss. Alright. Well, let's see if they can redeem themselves with this. These, when I first opened the box, these were actually right on top. And I saw usagi balls and what looks to be a dead rabbit. And I had some concerns. But I guess the usagi, the bunny here, is just the mascot. So I'm not going to be eating bunny. It says these are BBQ Satay corn puff balls. And that might not be bad. Let's see, it says the wildlife of Sumatra, the temples of Bali, which I hear are beautiful. I really, really want to visit someday. The nightlife of Java. Each Indonesian island has its own lifestyles, trends, and cuisines. But one thing is unanimously beloved: satay. The traditional dish is made of sliced meat that's seasoned with spices, skewered on a bamboo stick, barbecued, and slathered in peanut soy sauce. That sounds freaking delicious. It's so popular that a government building has even been nicknamed Gedung Satay, or Satay Building, because of the skewer-like point on its roof. So, what do you satay? Oof, that one hurt. Ready to give the national obsession a try with these satay-inspired puffs? Yes, actually. I think after that coconut bar of death, I am ready for just about anything. First thing I'm noticing, this bag is like packed with air. But let's see if I can open it. Alright. Alright, bag's open. And it smells odd. It's a very strange smell. I guess it's the like Indonesian barbecue smell. It's very different from American. So these things are big, actually. These puffs are way bigger than I was expecting. They're a little more crumbly. So I guess I will just try it. It just looks like a regular corn puff, so It's unusual, but not in a bad way. Like most of the flavor is like a powder on the outside. Not much flavor to the actual puff itself. But the flavor that's there is really nice. It's it reminds me of something I've had before out of one of these boxes. I can't remember which box, but there was one that had these kind of light, puffy chips. These little like crisps that were like barbecue pulled pork flavor. These are very similar to that. So it's definitely not what I would expect out of a corn puff. Because like corn puffs here in the States, you usually think like cheese puffs. These are nothing like that. So way more savory. And nice. If you like barbecue, these would definitely be up your alley. So yeah, I count that as a win. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the best thing in the box so far, but it's definitely good. Alright. 3 wins so far. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more items left. So plenty of time for the balance to tip. And this next one, I don't know what to expect. We have Tic Tac, which is a red chili cassava snack. I actually don't know what cassava is. But it says here, first of all, red chili, so it's spicy, probably. And I don't have a problem with that. I actually really like spicy things. So it says here, open this yum and peek inside. What do you see? Little white balls that look pretty darn similar to breakfast cereal. It does look like that, doesn't it? But don't even think about dousing these balls with milk. You can't tell me what to do it look like. Made from tapioca starch, a product of the local cassava plant. Oh, okay, so that's what cassava is. These itty-bitty pearls are coated in a spicy blend of onion, salt, sugar, sesame, garlic, and chili powder. If you want to pair them with any liquid, it'd better be soup. That's what folks in Indonesia do. Though we also think you'll find them hard to resist, all on their own. That is a bold claim, and I will be testing it. First, I'm going to finish preparing my tea, actually, because I completely forgot it here. And I don't want it to get cold. So, I'm just going to put some honey in my tea real quick. Good to go. We are good to try these cassava chili things. And again, it's this little bag that's just packed with air. And I have these little things inside. So, let's see if they show up properly on the camera. Yeah. Again, pretty strong smell coming off of them. Very, very tiny little things. I probably shouldn't be like rolling it around in my hand like this. Well, let's try it out. That is weird. Very hard. It's like if you took one of those cheese puffs from before and like pulled an Ant-Man with it and just like condensed it down to a tiny size. And there's... Jesus. There's very tiny little bursts of flavor to them. So every now and then you'll get like a big hit of the spice. But overall the flavor's kind of It's not really there. There's just kind of like a background building heat to them. I mean, I'm still eating them, which should tell you right there. They're weird. I guess I could see myself getting used to them if I took the time. But I don't know if I'm going to take the time beyond this. And I'm worried I'm going to break my teeth on them. Because they're very hard. Alright. So that was Tic Tac. How about we move on to another wafer? A little bit of a theme in this box. So we have Siphon, Pandan, and Coco cream wafers. Now I've heard of Pandan before. It's apparently like this greenish substance that they put in a lot of things, and it's apparently as common over there as vanilla is here. So it's like a very like everyday, ordinary kind of flavoring. So, okay. I mean, I don't know if Pandan tastes like vanilla or not, but I've never had it, so we'll see. It says here, grab this green goodie, and you'll be holding centuries of culinary history. It's probably expired if that's the case. Ancient Indonesians used the leaves of the pandan plant to make everything from roofs to ropes to baskets to boat sails. But when a special species called Pandanus amarylifolius on the Maluku Islands was found to have an especially pleasant aroma, they started using it to add sweetness to rice and meat. Nowadays, the flavor is so essential in Asian cooking, it's earned the title Vanilla of the East. And just like the vanilla you know and love, it pairs excellently with chocolate, as you're about to find out with this crispy, creamy wafer. Okay. I feel a lot of powder on the inside, so I think it got busted up a little bit in transit. Packages are a little hard to open sometimes. That's a very strange smell. Oops. One of the wafers is just coming apart as I touch it. Alright, well, it kind of disintegrated as I was pulling it out, but at least this way we can see the pandan cream. So, yeah, it basically just looks like a wafer that got moldy. And I guess there's really nothing else but to try it. Oh, that's weird. So, at first there's a sweetness. And I get the vanilla comparison, it's mild. But I don't know if it's maybe those little spice balls that I had right before this, but there's a strange aftertaste to it. not as pleasant as the initial taste. Grab the rest of this wafer out of there. And the things are just falling apart. It's okay. It is very okay. Very middle of the road. This is like, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a perfect 5. This is like the very definition of 5. So, it's not great, it's not terrible. It's just kind of somewhere in between. Alright. Let's go on to something that's a little more familiar for me. We have strawberry cow gummies. Gummies are one of my favorite types of snack, especially in the realm of candy. So I think I will love these. I'm sure these will be very familiar. It says, look at this Yums wrapper, and you'll spot cows. Inside, you'll find a fruity, creamy, cow-shaped gummy. Even the name, Millie Moos, is a cow reference. Well, yeah. So what's with all the cow love? I'm pretty sure that's, frowned upon in certain societies. It's something special in Indonesia, especially the island of Bali. Not only are cows considered sacred to the hundreds of thousands of Balinese Indonesians who practice Hinduism, but they play a vital role in helping farmers cultivate their crops. So local cows are never eaten for food, and in autumn they're decorated with flowers for Gopastami, a cow-themed holiday. We can't compel you to respect the cows as much as they do in Bali, but bite into this fruity cow gummy, and you might just find a newfound appreciation for our barnyard buddies. I personally appreciate cows. I think they are delicious. Let's find out if the gummies are similar. It won't let me into the package. I'm going to take my clippers. Wow, that strawberry smell just rushes out of the bag. Oh, first thing I'm noticing is they are all different colors. So it's purple, red, orange, green, the brown one here. So I don't know if they're all different flavors or if they're all just strawberry, but they're different colors. So let's try a green one. Strawberry. I guess purple. Also strawberry. Okay, so they are all strawberry flavored, and they're really good. It's not like an overpowering, sickly sweet strawberry, which is what you would find here in America, because they just inject sugar into everything. But these are really tasty, and it's not the most authentic strawberry flavor, but it's definitely way better than like the fake strawberry flavor you'd find here. And I really like the texture. They're like very I don't know, it's a great chewy texture. So, yeah, those are pretty good. It's like a 7, I'd say. Not bad at all. All right, how are we doing time-wise? We're doing pretty good. We've got 4 items left on our list, so let's get underway with these. Crip Crip. These are sweet corn tortilla chips. Alright, so that should be somewhat familiar. I do like tortilla, but I've never seen it sweet before. It says here, walk through the street food stalls at Jakarta, and you'll smell a sweet and savory snack that's super popular. Perkedel jagung, or sweet corn fritters. Oh, those sound delicious. Made with sweet corn, flour, kaffir lime leaves, and garlic, then fried to crispy perfection. They're one of the most famous street foods in the country. They do sound really freaking good. Which is why it's common to see locals eating them for breakfast, lunch, or a late night snack. They probably should have just put some of those in here. I would not say no to that. While perkedel jagung is traditionally enjoyed with a dipping sauce, these tortilla chips are good enough to enjoy on their own, which is a nice way of saying they were too cheap to include dipping sauce, and are just as golden, crunchy, and savory as the real deal. Okay. And again, these packages, they are very hard to get into. A lot of chips in these. A lot of like crisps and things contained in bags. Oh my god. Oh. The smell of these. Oh. This smells amazing. So in the town where I currently live, there is every year on Columbus Day weekend a big arts festival. So local artists from like all over New England converge on this one little area and sell their wares. And there's also a bunch of food stands set up, and like doughboys, fried dough, and stuff like that. And smelling this bag, I am there again. It smells a lot like the street food stalls that you would see around here. So, oh my god, I would love to see one of these like sweet corn street carts. Oh. These chips, they look, I mean, they're very much smaller than normal tortilla chips that you would see here. But yeah, they smell amazing, and I cannot wait. All right. Oh yeah. That's a really nice sweet corn flavor. I would say it's not the best tasting thing in the bag so far, the box so far, but it is definitely the best smelling, and I think that's gonna skyrocket it in the ranking at the end of this. All right, I need to show a little willpower. Oh, so good, so good. Okay. All right, we got 3 more to go. We got, let's see here. Oh, okay. Here's another snack that will be very familiar to my palate. In fact, I'm amazed it's in this bag, or this box. Anyway, it says, first of all, these are Indonesian peach ring gummies. It says, the company behind this yum, Yupi Indo, is kind of a big deal. Oh, so it's like the snack making equivalent of me. As one of the most recognizable brands in Indonesia, they produce a whopping 6 billion pieces of candy every year from Bogor. Generations of locals grew up eating their gummy candies in fun shapes like hamburgers, pizzas, and hot dogs. And with candies this juicy, they've been leading the gummy confectionery market in Southeast Asia since 1996. But don't take our word for it. Just bite into these fruity, sugar-encrusted rings and see for yourself. I intend to do just that. This bag is really small. Yeah, these are very similar to peach rings you would find in America. And they smell just like them. And they look just like them. But a little smaller. So they got the reddish side, and then a little yellow, kind of marshmallow gummy underside. So these look very familiar. Oh. Slightly softer, almost more marshmallowy consistency than the American ones. But very much the same flavor. And I love peach rings, so these are automatically good. No surprise there. Alright, 2 more snacks. 2 more. This one is weird. We have Oles cheesy crackers with cocoa sprinkles. So right away, what? Second of all, what? Why are these strung together like a pack of condoms? I'm guessing that's just how they're presented in grocery stores, but like when I saw crackers, I was thinking like a bag of them, but no. This is just a single serving bag with a giant cracker in it. So, alright. And then, okay, cheese, I get. Cheesy crackers, of course. I live in America, the land of Cheez-Its. Chocolate? Absolutely. Chocolate's a great thing. It's wonderful for a snack. Cheese and chocolate? What? And it's the booklet seems to agree with me. It says cheese and chocolate on a cracker? Yep. In the late 1500s, the Dutch established Indonesian colonies in search of natural resources, bringing with them chocolate and cheese. Locals got creative with the new culinary arrivals, topping roti bakar, or toast, with Macy's chocolate sprinkles and Western-style cheese. The combo took off, continuing to explode in popularity after Indonesia declared independence from the Netherlands in 1945. Today, it's a sweet and salty national tradition, which you're about to try, and I am very confused by it. So, I don't know. I don't know. This is the strangest thing I have seen in this box. So it's just literally a cracker with some kind of cheese stuff on it and chocolate sprinkles. This is so strange. And the cheese stuff like kind of melts it on contact. So, alright, the smell does not have me looking forward to this. It smells very strange, but that's so weird. It's like a giant saltine with just this weird waxy cheese stuff and chocolate sprinkles. You don't really taste much of the chocolate either. And it's not like a very strong cheesy taste. It's just kind of sweet. Alright, Indonesia. I'll give you points for trying and for doing something unique. Because I'm getting up there in years, and cheese and chocolate together is never something I have seen. This is a first, so it's a new experience, and by virtue of that, I'll give you credit. But that is such a strange combination. That is so strange. It's better than the Pandan wafer. I'm actually kind of liking it a little bit. Like, now that I've had an entire one. I like it in a weird way, and I don't know how to feel about that. Anyway, I can think about that while I'm trying the final item in the box, which is fried ramen chips. That could be amazing because I love ramen, and if you've been following my Twitter, I have famously, very recently, made my own improvised ramen with grilled chicken and some half-boiled eggs, and it's super tasty. So yeah, ramen is something I would not say no to, and to see it in chip form is very interesting. So it says here, if there's one dish that's found everywhere, from warongs or mom and pop shops to high-end restaurants, it's mie goreng, one of the most iconic stir-fried noodle dishes in Indonesia. While the dish originated from Chinese immigrants, locals have made it their own by adding fried shallots, sambal, chili paste, and kecap manis, or sweet soy sauce, for a taste that's quintessentially Indonesian. So it was only a matter of time before Indofood, the country's most famous potato chip brand, created a mie goreng flavored chip so crunchy and savory, you'll be saying terima kasih, or thank you, Indofood. Okay. Well, thankfully that is the last bit of Indonesian I will have to try and pronounce. I'm so sorry if you speak Indonesian and are offended by my horrible mispronunciation. I tried. And likewise, I will be trying these. Again, a very interesting smell. And, oh wow, these chips are huge. They're very thick. I don't know what that smells like, but it smells familiar somehow. Well, anyway, I'm always a fan of unusual potato chips, so I, at the very least, will enjoy this experience just for having tried it. Here we go. Whoa. Okay. Whoa, I was not expecting that. Whew. There is, right off the bat, the minute you put it in your mouth, it just like punches your tongue. There's like a really strong spice kick to it. It mellows out after the initial hit, but I can still feel the heat in my mouth. Yeah, I would not eat the entire bag in one sitting, or if I did, I would keep something to drink on hand. But that's really tasty, and beyond the original spice, there's also a really nice sweetness to it. It must be from the sweet soy sauce. But yeah, the chili is very strong with this one. Oh. Alright, well, I kind of don't want to dare to eat more of these right away because they're so spicy, but that's really tasty. Alright, so with that, I have now tasted everything in the Universal Yums October box from Indonesia. And now is usually the time where I select my favorite. And I'm going to narrow it down to a few. So the peach rings were kind of run-of-the-mill. I'd give those like a 6 or a 7. I like them, but same for the Millie Moos fruit gummy cows. Those are good, but again, I wasn't really blown away. It's very familiar to me. The Tic Tac cassava snack. I'm gonna have one more of them. It's like a 5 or a 6. It's beyond the slight spice. There isn't really much to them, and they're a bit hard for my taste. The Pandan wafer, like I said, that's just straight middle of the road, very average. The ramen chips were good. I really like them. I would give them like a 7 or an 8. The only thing is that the initial spice is so strong, it's like almost disarming. If it were a bit more of like a mild building spice, I would probably be a bigger fan. But like a 7 or an 8, right? Like a 7.5 probably on those. Which is about what I'd put these weird things, these cheese chocolate crackers. I don't know why I like them so much, but it's a weird combination that somehow works. The barbecue corn puff balls, again, like a 7.5. They're good. I like them. But nothing overwhelming. Oh, it's the, I forgot, off to the side I have my white chocolate coconut bar. Screw that thing. That's, you know what, I'll give it a 2. I'm not gonna give it a 1, based solely on the fact that it is not licorice and it is not black truffle. Those two things deserve the lowest circle of snack hell. So as long as it's not those things, it has to be at least a 2. So I will be merciful and give that a 2, maybe a 2.5, because the initial coconut taste is a little weaker, but then it hits you afterwards. So yeah. So that brings us to our 3 finalists. We have the sweet corn tortilla chips, the banana wafers, banana chocolate wafers, and the coffee biscuits. I'm gonna try, I think, one more of each. So the banana chocolate wafer. It's very weird to be trying something so like mild and sweet after the spicy ramen chip. It's a really nice banana flavor. I'm a fan of that. Now the sweet corn tortilla chip. 1 second. Oh. I like really good corn flavor. And that's hard to find in snacks. There's so many Western snacks that they're made from corn, but They don't really have that rich, corny flavor, and I really enjoy that. So that's like sweet corn, like right off the cob. That's so good. So I think these pull ahead of the banana wafers slightly. I'd say the banana wafers are like an 8.5, and I put the chips at like a 9. And then the coffee biscuits, again packed in like sardines. Oops, falling apart. Really nice. Really pleasant, like mild coffee flavor. And I like the consistency as well. This is actually really tough. So banana wafers don't quite pull out the win, but they're definitely a good third place contestant. I would say you know what? I'd say flavor-wise, they're both on a pretty equal playing field. So I think it's the street food smell of the tortilla chips that really puts it ahead. So I think I'd say these are both a really solid 9 out of 10. But if we're including aroma, this puts it up to a 9.5, maybe even a 10. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, there you have it. We have our winner, and we have the loser, which is the white chocolate coconut wafer of death and shame. Which is in itself a shame, because I know coconuts are a huge part of Indonesian cuisine, but I cannot abide coconut. I will not have it on my channel. So, to the depths with that thing. There you have it. So, alright, just about an hour in after starting my stream. So it's a good time to have finished this box, and we're going to switch gears. We're going to be doing a little bit of painting after this, but first I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break, just for like 5-10 minutes, go to the bathroom, refill my tea kettle, all that good stuff, and I will be back with you shortly. And we are back. Alright, let's go over to the painting table. And here we are, which looks suspiciously like my snack table. But I assure you, this is a completely distinct and separate table. Completely legally distinct. Because, look, we've got a palette here, so it's obviously different. What are we doing here? Well, I cannot focus on a project to save my life. So we are not going to be working on our spooky haunted house today. We are not going to be working on the Iron Kingdoms board games heroes, even though I'm almost done with them, and I could just easily finish that up. No. We are going to do something else. We are going to be working on a project that I am actually really excited about and have been making a slight amount of progress in over the last couple days. And that is what I have affectionately called Project Blood Bowl. So, if you don't know, Blood Bowl is a game put out by Games Workshop, which is a unique fusion of Warhammer Fantasy, which I really love, and football, which I don't. And it really works. It's a really fun, interesting game to watch, and I've been curious about it for quite some time. So I finally decided, you know what, to heck with it, I'm going to try it, I'll see what it's about, and so I got the starter set, which is coming tomorrow, and then I also have a couple of additional teams, two of which are here right now, and one of which is on the way. So the two teams that I have here, one is the Ogres, which I've started painting a little bit. I've done some base coats and the wash on the skin. So I'm using my own unique color scheme. I'm actually going for more of a winter look with them. So I'm using pale blue and white as the primary colors for the uniform. And I'm referring to them as the Winter Scar Wendigos. And along with 4 ogres on the team, there's also a group of 12 Noblars, which assist them in various ways, usually being used as ammunition and whatnot. So they seemed like a really fun team. Come to find out, they're one of the least tactically sound teams in the game, which suits me just fine because I am terrible with tactics. They just seemed really fun, and I liked the models. And I think if you're going to be getting into this hobby, that's the most important thing, is to pick an army, not necessarily for its win factor, but for whether you would enjoy painting them, looking at them, playing with them, all that good stuff. And of course, whether you like the lore behind them, if you're playing a lore-heavy game. So I just really like the look of the models, so heck it, I got them. And then the army that I'm going to be focusing on tonight is actually the one that I got for a friend of mine, which it's a secret. It's a secret to everybody, no telling. And that is the Halfling Team. So I've been working on them. This is one of their quote-unquote heavies, or hefties, I think they're officially called. And I asked my friend, without telling him what it was for, what his favorite colors were. And he said that lately he's been really into red and purple, and also really likes cream colors, like an ivory kind of tone. So I'm going to do my best to incorporate all of those things. So the glove here and most of his armor and his pants I've done in red. And then his jersey and the stripe down his helmet and the sides of the helmet I've done with purple. And I've just base coated them, and the knee pads as well. And then what I'm thinking I'm going to do is the suspenders holding up his pants very poorly, and the straps holding his knee pads I'm going to do with kind of an ivory bone white. And then filling in other colors as needed. He's got bandages that I'm going to be doing in white, the little grid on his helmet, which is going to be metal, the spikes, and then his belt, which I'm going to do in, I'm thinking my uniform brown triad, rather than my traditional leather. So yeah, so what I'm going to be doing is, I think I'm going to actually go ahead and finish this one guy before doing the others. I've started painting the rest of the army, or team. There's 12 models in all, and I've started base coating the red on some of them. I've done about half of them that way. But I think I'm going to hold off until I finish this one hefty. He's going to be like my test model for the army. So I think that's going to work out pretty nice, because then I can actually see what a standard model in this team is supposed to look like, and I can kind of follow that. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to paint until I get tired of it. Alright. So what I'm going to do, the red needs another coat on this dude. So I'm going to be doing that, and the color I'm using is Asmodeus Red, which is a really nice kind of dark red. Makes a really good base coat. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, let's get some Asmodeus Red on the palette, maybe have a drink of tea, and then we'll get going. And I know this being on my YouTube channel rather than my Twitch channel, probably I'm not going to see a lot of people tonight, but you know, that actually reminds me of something really fun that I used to watch. If any of you are into the miniature painting scene and the miniature wargaming scene, you may know a channel by the name of Mini Wargaming, and they have always been a huge inspiration for me. They're sort of what got me into the hobby in the first place. Like, I knew of the Warhammer 40k universe through Dawn of War, which I used to play a lot at LAN parties with my friends, like some college buddies. And then I discovered, oh, there's an actual like tabletop version of this game, and you can actually like build and paint miniatures. That sounds really cool. I'd never done it before, but I started looking into it on YouTube, like how to assemble and how to paint and all that kind of stuff. And I found Mini Wargaming kind of by accident while I was looking for battle reports, you know, kind of video records of games. And at the time, Mini Wargaming was really small. They were not quite as huge as they are now. They're, I would say, one of the giants in the field now. Really good production quality and all that. But at the time when I discovered them, it was like super scuffed and improvised stuff. And just like weird little skits, and had a very, very strong indie feel to them. Less so now, they're more these days they are the establishment, pretty much. Which is fine. That is the natural progression of things. They started small and got big. And they got that way through dedication and talent and all that good stuff. But I kind of missed the charm of their earlier videos. It is what it is. And there was one series of, I guess it was streams that he just downloaded into video form. But there was one point where Mini Wargamer Dave, one of the founding members of Mini Wargaming, I believe he's still there. He's known for playing Chaos, primarily. But there came a time when he decided to start collecting a second army. And he decided on Blood Angels, the Space Marine chapter. So what he did is he chronicled the assembly and painting of some of his army as kind of like an introduction to kind of show people his process, and people could take a journey with him. And what I did is I was working on some new army projects at the time, so I would watch his videos. I would just have them on in the background while I painted. So in that way, it was almost like painting with a buddy. And who knows, maybe someday someone will be watching one of these streams and thinking the same thing. That would be really cool. I'd be a-okay with that. Alright, so it looks like we finished laying down a solid red base coat. It looks a little thin here, but that's because that's supposed to be a belt. We'll be hitting that later. So I'm just going to give that red a second to set, and then we're going to be washing it with some Carroburg Crimson. Nice red wash. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for that red to set, I'm going to dig out my bone colors. Kind of ivory white. Because I left those accidentally. There's one. And two, yeah. Okay. So what I can do, I think I'm not going to put down the bone color yet. I want to put down the red wash first, because the red wash is going to show if it hits the bone, not in a flattering way. And then I will also get my purple wash out, so I can wash the purple sections that I previously did. To the step, you just got to apply the wash fairly evenly, make sure it flows into the proper recesses, so in here like the edges of the shoulder pad. And then on the pants. So with the pants, I kind of like there to be a line where the pants meet the belt, and that'll kind of help me guide when I base coat the belt itself. I love the sculpt of these halflings. Like, apparently they are the hardest team to win with. So it kind of made things difficult for my friend by getting this army for him, this team. But on the one hand, there is my assertion that you should play a team that is fun for you, and as I've explained previously on stream, everything about this halfling team tells me that my friend would love them. The aesthetic is really fun. They've got hot dogs as their symbol, which my friend is a huge fan of hot dogs. And they're just really silly and fun, and he loves hobbits and gnomes and diminutive fantasy creatures. So these are right up his alley. Alright, so that's our red wash. Now we're just going to hit a little bit of purple. This Druchy Violet. Druchy, whatever. Pads here, and the shirt, or jersey, I guess is the proper term. I should be using proper sports terminology here. And the center stripe on his helmet. we go. Now, what I could do here is, now that there's a wash down, I could actually move on to other models, and I think I might, now that I'm here, as much as I want to have that one test model. But I don't know. Let's see. So I suppose I should keep doing them like assembly line style, and just get all the red down, wash it all, do the purple, wash the purple. I should do it like that, and it's gonna feel like it's taking a long time, but then they all get done at the same time. So when I do finish, I'm really finished. I find when you're doing a squad like this, in this case 12 models at once, which is a tall order sometimes if you're not used to batch painting, then it can feel very daunting. But do not be daunted, just pick up your brush and paint. That's the best advice I can give. Don't necessarily worry about your skill level, because that will improve. Don't worry about making mistakes, because you can always correct them. It might take time, but you can do it. So the way some of these models are sculpted, it does make it a little time consuming to get all the details down. It's like how low to the base these guys are. It's hard to get on the underside with this red. It will all be worth it in the end when I have a fully painted halfling team ready to present to my friend, so we can have some silly, wacky games of Blood Bowl between his halflings and my ogres. Both teams being not very competitive, very gimmicky, hard to win with. So all of our games will be interesting to watch. If nothing else, they'll be entertaining. And that's the point. That is, I think, the point of any game. Don't worry about winning, just have fun. Bit less red on this guy, since he's not a hefty, he doesn't have a whole lot of armor. He does have this giant mitt, he's one of the catchers. So I don't know what color I want this mitt to be yet. I might make it a leather color. What I'd like to do before I finish stream today is I'd like to have all the red base coats down. I think it's kind of a tall order. Which, tall order, halflings. Anyway, but we'll see what we can do. How far can we get? Dudes. I think it's only been one coat of red on each of these guys so far, so this hefty can just go up the center field there. the silliest things about these models is the ill-fitting nature of their uniforms. Very haphazard looking. Like, the pants are all unbuttoned. And the jerseys are very ill-fitting. So they kind of hang down a bit. Or they don't hang down enough, rather. And then, for most of them, I think there's only 2 models where their muffin top is not showing. They got like this big old beer gut. Which I think my friend would appreciate that too. I'm not saying he has one, but he appreciates the aesthetic in his fantasy characters. So, my friend, if you're watching this, I'm not saying you have a muffin top. I'm saying some of your favorite fantasy characters do. And that's okay. One thing I'll never get over with halflings, though, is their gross hobbit feet. I'm not into them. I just keep thinking back to Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. There's that scene where the 4 hobbits like fall down a hill, and they're all just laying in a heap at the bottom of the hill afterwards. And as Frodo's getting up, you see just like on the side of the frame, like an inch from his face, there's this big gross hobbit foot, all hairy and dirty. Not a very appealing sight. It definitely helped to paint as far as I did on that one hefty. Because, you know, every model in this set is unique. But they do have a lot of characteristics in common. A lot of certain areas should be a certain color. Because they should look like a cohesive team, even if they all look unique. Together on the field. They should look very striking that way. Pocket watch just hanging down here. It's an interesting feature. I don't know what this thing hanging down from his knee is. Doesn't look like a knee pad. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. I really like this guy. He's got a teapot on his head. Their helmets are all utensils or appliances of some kind. Except for the one hefty who's got an actual football helmet. So I mentioned earlier that I do have a couple other teams coming that I'm excited about. So there's the starter set, which is arriving, I think, tomorrow, which has a lot of that has the dice and the rule book and the board and all the accoutrement that I need to play the game. But also, it comes with two teams. It has the human team, the Empire team, the Buyenhofen Barons, which I'm probably going to rename. Because I'm not using the official color scheme, I'm going to use my own unique one. And it also has a Black Orc team, which has a bunch of Black Orcs and Goblins and stuff. So that is going to be fun. I enjoy painting orcs. And it looks like the orc team is actually really solid rules-wise. They and the human team are like the two kind of all-arounders, but the orcs are slightly more focused on aggressive stuff. Whereas the humans are like straight down the middle, jack of all trades, master of none. So the point with them is that they will typically lose if they're playing by their opponent's strategy, but they pick up the slack where their opponents can't. So if you're playing humans, you need to be really adaptable and able to kind of master multiple strategies, multiple avenues to victory. So you can't be too reliant on any one strategy depending on who you're facing. And I appreciate that. That is valid. Getting a little more red on the palette. I like this red a lot, but you say it takes a few coats. It's not the best coverage of any paint I have. It's okay. It's just unfortunate that I felt the need to base all these guys in white, which I kind of needed to do, because both teams are going to be very brightly colored. And to be honest, I'm probably going to be basing most, if not all, of my Blood Bowl models in white, just because of how bright and vibrant they should look, to kind of go with their whole theme of being sports teams. But white is not a forgiving primer color to work with. Because if you make a mistake, it will show. If you miss a spot, you'll see that glaring little bit of white just poking through. Like, hey buddy, you missed a spot. Okay. That's the last initial coat. So now I basically got to go through the whole line again and strengthen those base coats. The second coat should be easier, because I already know where the red is supposed to go. And I don't need to worry so much about the edges, because I know that edges are probably where the red highlights are going to be going. This might actually be enough. 2 coats might be good enough for a solid base coat on these guys. That would make me very happy. I would very much not like to have to do a 3rd coat. I know I am going to be applying the red wash, which will cover up some inconsistencies and mistakes. And then the highlights, covering them up even more. Well, one of the highlights is with Heraldic Red, which its coverage ability is pretty bad. But it's a nice vibrant red that I thought would work really well. Basically, if you were with me on my Twitch channel for my Marvel Crisis Protocol painting series, I'm using the same reds that I used to paint Magneto, and he turned out really nice. Really nice, vibrant reds. So yeah, I think 2 coats is going to do it. We'll see. I just remembered. Tomorrow's a trash day. I need to get out there at some point and take the trash barrels down. So I think I might do that like at 9 o'clock on the dot. I'll stop whatever I'm doing and just run out real quick and take those barrels down. And then I will be back with you. I like this guy in particular. He kind of looks like Tyrion Lannister, so I'm actually going to make him blonde. I also remembered another thing is I haven't done my Genshin dailies today. slacking. And I think there's also some materials that I need to grind for while it's still Monday. He's got a lot of red on him. Not quite as much as the dude with the helmet. I think just because of the wide surface area, I might need an additional coat of red on him. Or maybe not. We'll see. It's just about 9 o'clock now, so I think I'm going to take a quick breather just to take those trash barrels down, and then I will be right back with you. Alright, don't go anywhere. And I'm back. Alright, here we go. Alright. So back to our hobbit painting. Halfling. Similar to but legally distinct from hobbits. Although Games Workshop does do the Lord of the Rings game, so they have to have some of the rights. I still haven't played that game, despite the fact that I got the starter set a while ago. I never did paint any of them. You have a whole orc army that I wanted to paint for myself, and the Rohan guys from a friend. But I just haven't had the time to get together and play, so I put the project kind of on the back burner for the moment. Feels like I've been putting a lot of projects on the back burner. I really need to focus on at least one, which I guess I'm kind of doing with this Blood Bowl one. Last time, before the break, I was also talking about the teams I've got coming, so that I mentioned how the starter set with the Empire and the Orcs is going to be coming in, and then I do have one more team on its way, because I really like the look of them, and as quote-unquote bad guy teams go, they seemed really interesting and versatile. And that is the Necromantic Horrors Undead team. And what that consists of is mostly zombies, like half of them are zombies. There are a couple of wraiths, which are represented by like just floating white sheets, which is really funny. There's a couple of ghouls, which I guess are like the runners. And there's a couple of werewolves as well, which I think are blitzers, more like attack-oriented dudes. And a couple of flesh golems, who are like, I think more of like the heavy-duty blockers. Like more tanky. So it seems like they've got a nice like wide variety of units, which is a lot different than the Ogre army, or team. I need to get in the habit of saying team. The Ogre team that I currently have. Whereas, like with the Ogres, there are only 3 roles. There are Ogre blockers, an Ogre runt punter, and then a whole bunch of Noblars. Not a whole lot of variation there. So the Necromantic Horror sounds like they've got a really nice wide variety of units to work in conjunction with each other, and that appeals to me. Because that, to me, spells a variety of strategies. Which I probably shouldn't be too fixated on because I'm a terrible strategist, but I think it's cool to have options. Whereas I think with the Ogres, they'll be relatively easy to learn because there's not much to them. They're pretty blunt and simplistic, as one would expect of ogres. The various forms of undead are a little more nuanced. And they're Halloween-y looking, so I think one of the zombies is actually wearing a pumpkin as a helmet. So that Halloween-y stuff always appeals to me. I like spooky things. And in Warhammer Fantasy, the Undead were one of the primary factions that I played, so. And I do like painting decaying skin and brains and blood and other nasty stuff like that. It's fun It's fun from a painter's perspective. We're getting there. We're almost done base coating the red. I cannot complain with that. So like I said, what I'll do is I'll finish base coating the red, and then I will wash the red. And then I think we'll call it a day at that, because I need to let that red wash dry before I do anything else. I love painting, I really do, and it's so satisfying to see a finished army or team in this case. But my god, it's a process. I like this one sculpt. The guy is holding a football in one hand and has his hand in his pocket. He looks a lot more cleaned up than the other players, but at the same time, this guy's still wearing a teapot on his head. Two more to go. And if you are sticking around with us, I'm not going to be doing a raid, obviously, because that's not really a thing on YouTube, unfortunately. Which, YouTube, get on that. Add a raid feature. I guarantee you, more people will want to stream if that is a thing. But I do suggest heading over to someone I know who should be starting their stream right about now. And that would be, she is over on Twitch. And her name is Haruka Yumi. So Harukayumi, or Yumi, and then VT at the end for VTuber. So Haruka Yumi VT. Should be starting her stream right about now, and she is a treasure. Super cute, super fun, super nice, and an unbelievably good singer. Beautiful, beautiful voice. So, I do recommend. 2 paws up. Oh. Okay. There we go. We got our red all base coated. So next step. Okay. Just letting that red set. I guess we could start from the right and start washing them. Just gotta do something real quick. Okay. All right. The thing I meant to do has been done. So now, the other thing I meant to do, which is wash. I think I'm gonna be happiest when I finish the pants. The pants are a pain in the butt a little bit, just because how low to the base it is. And it's hard to get on the underside, and it's just oddly fitting on these guys. Oh well. So this red wash bottle doesn't like to stay properly open. A little red wash in this belly here. I can wipe off some of it. And the rest I can just highlight away later. Painting tips 101. If you make a mistake, don't freak out. You can always fix it. I think what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to kind of raid. I'm going to go over to Haruka's channel, and once I'm all done here, and put in a message like, oh hi, it's not officially a raid because I didn't come from Twitch, but raid! Or Wolfpack raid, whatever. 5 more. We're getting there. One little bit on these guys. Like this guy, something I mentioned earlier, it's hanging off his knee. I don't know what it is. I'll have to look at the box art again and see if it's a little more clear there. It almost looks like a metal shard, but it can't be that. Wouldn't make sense to be there. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a bit of grass, maybe. Something like that. Two more. all the red washed. I think that is a good night's work. Now, obviously, there's still a long way to go on these guys. I think the next step is doing all the jerseys on all of them, all the purple bits. And then going from there. It's a process. Base coating is the longest and most tedious step, but it's what we gotta do. Alright, so I'm going to take off now. I don't think I'm gonna do like an official end, but yeah, we shall see. Okay, so I'm gonna take off for now. You guys be good out there. I don't know when the next time I'm streaming will be. Probably, I don't know, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll see. I will be painting no matter what, so next time you see the painting table, I will probably have made more progress with these halflings. But for now, I will bid you adieu. Be good out there, be kind to each other, and I will see you in the next chapter. Bye for now.